From Eleven's telekinesis to Vecna's terrifying grip on his victims, Stranger Things introduced us to incredible abilities born from secret experiments and the darkness of the Upside Down. Some saved lives, others destroyed them. These powers shaped the story at every turn, making Hawkins more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. But what exactly were these abilities? Telekinesis. The most prominent power in the show belongs to Eleven, and it's telekinesis. Throughout all the seasons, we've seen Elle move objects with her mind, from small toys to entire vehicles. We've seen her flip vans, close dimensional gates, and even pull a helicopter from the sky. In Season 4's flashbacks, she unleashed a surge of telekinetic force so powerful that it not only defeated Henry but also banished him into the Upside Down, transforming him into Vecna. Whenever Elle uses her abilities extensively, she experiences nosebleeds and extreme exhaustion. Remote viewing. Another aspect of Eleven's abilities is remote viewing, which she demonstrated frequently at Hawkins Lab. By entering a sensory deprivation tank or using a blindfold and white noise, she can see and hear everything happening in these remote locations as if she's actually there. We saw her use this to spy on Russian communications. The first time Eleven used her remote viewing ability at Hawkins Lab, she made psychic contact with the Demogorgon. That single moment opened the second gate in 1983 and started Hawkins' nightmare. The catch is that she's completely vulnerable while doing this. Her body remains in one place while her mind travels elsewhere, meaning someone could easily harm her physical form while she's projecting. This ability requires complete concentration, making it nearly impossible to use in combat situations. Psychic connection. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of Eleven's powers is her ability to create psychic links with other beings. When she first touched the Demogorgon in the void, this showed us that her powers can bridge dimensions and create connections that shouldn't exist. This connection works both ways. When she's linked to something, it can also sense her and potentially track her location. The Mind Flayer used this connection to spy on the group's plans and always stay one step ahead. Mind reading and memory exploration. One of Elle's lesser-shown but incredibly powerful abilities is accessing other people's minds. We saw her do this with Billy in Season 3, uncovering his traumatic childhood and the Mind Flayer's control over him. She can also extract information from people's minds, though this seems to cause her more strain than her other abilities. This ability became the foundation of the Nina Project in Season 4. Brenner and Owens placed Elle in a sensory deprivation system to force her to relive her childhood memories. She was able to rediscover the truth about the massacre. Dimensional manipulation. By far the most consequential of Elle's powers is her ability to affect the barrier between dimensions. She can open and close gates to the Upside Down, though this requires enormous amounts of energy. We saw her close the main gate at the end of Season 2, which nearly killed her from the exertion. Opening gates seems to happen accidentally when she's frightened or using her powers in extreme circumstances. What makes this ability so dangerous is that Elle doesn't have complete control over it. The Mind Flayer's possession. While not exactly a power someone would want, the Mind Flayer's ability to possess and control people is terrifying. We first saw this with Will in Season 2 when the Mind Flayer used him as a spy. The possession gave the Mind Flayer access to all of Will's memories, thoughts, and everything he saw and heard. Later, in Season 3, we saw the Mind Flayer take this ability even further by possessing multiple people at once, creating the Flayed. The Mind Flayer could even liquefy their bodies and merge them together into larger, more powerful forms. Vecna's curse. Vecna can psychically invade people's minds from a distance, trapping them in nightmarish visions built from their trauma and guilt. While they're trapped, their bodies remain in the real world. Vecna uses these visions to torture his victims before ultimately killing them by breaking their bones and crushing their bodies from the inside out. What makes this power truly terrifying is that Vecna specifically targets people suffering from trauma, depression, and guilt. Every victim of Vecna's curse experience the same warning signs before their death. The vision of a grandfather clock and hallucinations tied to their deepest trauma. True sight. One unique ability that will develop after his time in the Upside Down is what we might call true sight. He can sense when the Mind Flayer is near and feel its presence even across dimensions. This ability makes Will incredibly valuable as an early warning system, but it also puts him in constant danger. The connection to the Upside Down never fully went away, meaning Will remains vulnerable to its influence. We saw at the end of Season 4 that he can still sense when Vecna is active. He felt sudden chills and visions whenever the Mind Flayer was near. Creating illusions. Callie, also known as 8, demonstrated a completely different type of power from 11. While Elle's abilities were physical and dimensional, Callie's were purely mental. She could create realistic illusions that affect multiple people at once. We saw her make an entire group of people see things that weren't there, from monsters to collapsed bridges. The limitation of Callie's power is that it only works on perception. If someone knows they're looking at an illusion and focuses hard enough, they can see through it. We saw Elle do this when Callie tried to make her see a false version of Brenner. Despite this limitation, Callie's powers are incredibly useful for escape and psychological warfare. Shared consciousness. The hive mind ability displayed by the creatures of the Upside Down is fascinating and terrifying. The Demogorgons, Demodogs, and all other creatures from that dimension share a collective consciousness controlled by the Mind Flayer. When one creature sees something, they all know about it instantly. When one is hurt, they all react. This makes them incredibly coordinated and nearly impossible to outsmart. What's truly scary about this hive mind is that it can extend to humans who are possessed or flayed. In Season 2, when soldiers set fire to the tunnels under Hawkins, Will screamed in pain even though he wasn't physically touched. This moment confirmed that the vines, the tunnels, and the creatures were all part of the same hive mind. Superhuman abilities. While trapped in the Russian prison, Hopper encountered a Demogorgon that displayed incredible physical abilities. These creatures possess superhuman strength, able to tear through solid walls and overpower multiple armed soldiers. They also have enhanced durability, surviving gunshots and explosions that would kill a human instantly. Perhaps their most disturbing ability is their petal-like face that opens up to reveal rows of teeth. It enhances their already powerful sense of smell. They also don't seem to feel pain the way humans do. The only reliable way to kill a Demogorgon is with fire or by completely destroying its body. Regeneration and adaptation. The Mind Flayer itself demonstrated an incredible ability to adapt and regenerate. We saw this when the Mind Flayer created its massive spider-like body from the melted remains of the flayed in Season 3. It could grow, shrink, split apart, and reform itself as needed. Even when Elle ripped it apart with her powers, the pieces would try to reconnect. The power of music. Finally, while not a supernatural ability, we learned that music has an unexplainable power in Stranger Things that can break through Vecna's curse. When Max was trapped in Vecna's mind palace, Kate Bush's running up that hill created a lifeline that allowed her to escape. This suggests that emotional connections and memories associated with music can pierce through psychic attacks. The science behind this isn't fully explained, but it seems that music activates different parts of the brain than Vecna's curse targets. The possibility of other lab powers. So far, we've seen 11th's telekinesis, Callie's illusions, and hints that other subjects may have had abilities too. Perhaps even powers we've never seen. Brenner's obsession wasn't just with creating one weapon. It was about creating many. Season 5 could easily reveal that Vecna wasn't the only one with devastating abilities. The big question is whether those powers will resurface through hidden survivors, or if 11 herself will manifest new abilities as she pushes beyond her limits. So those are all the major powers we've seen throughout Stranger Things across all the seasons. If you could have any of these powers, which one would you choose? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.